Joe Manchin has officially flipped on the next bill. I have all the details for you in this video. Let's get right into it. Alright, so let's take a minute here and talk about something before we get into the details about how Joe Manchin has flipped on the next bill. And let's wrestle around with a little bit more clarity on a previous video. I was out talking about what we would anticipate seeing the president talk about in the State of the Union address. Well, I did research and I found some things. Sure enough, that was exactly what he talked about. The president talked a lot about the Build Back Better agenda and all the provisions within the Build Back Better agenda. In fact, if you listen to the State of the Union address, he literally went right down the line of those provisions in the Build Back Better agenda, and he basically laid them all out and told Congress to send them to his desk right away. So very interesting, but at the same time not surprising, because according to my research, that is what we're anticipating hearing out of the president. Alright, so here's where it gets a little bit dicey, and I want to clarify this a little bit more. So I've seen a number of comments. There were a lot of very nice comments, a lot of really great messages and everything like that. But some people here have been reaching out saying he didn't say anything about a stimulus check. You're right, he didn't. And we didn't anticipate him to say anything about a stimulus check either. In fact, in my previous video, I made it very clear. I did say if there happens to be a full stimulus check, it will probably not be called a stimulus check. I was laying out a variety of different names that we should probably watch for going forward in the event there is a stimulus check. I highly doubt it's going to be a taking on a name, stimulus check, or even economic impact payments, which is the official name that they gave the last three payments. If there happens to be stimulus checks going forward, I think it's going to pick up a different name, maybe something like an anti-inflationary check, or support check, or relief checks, or survival check. Honestly, I don't really know. I was just throwing out some ideas. And I apologize if there was some miscommunication, or if it made it sound like he was going to be saying that. But no, I never ever said that. And I did not even imply or mean to imply that he would actually be announcing a stimulus check. So I hope that kind of clears it up. One more thing I want to point out as well. The stimulus package and stimulus check are two totally different things. When I say stimulus package, that does not mean stimulus check. Stimulus package is like the all-encompassing bill, like the 3,000 pages or 2,000 pages that may contain two pieces of legislation within it, or 2 pages of legislation within it that may have a stimulus check. That's what I mean. So anyway, I hope that offers a little bit more clarification. I did also see a few of you reaching out, by the way, saying he didn't say anything about Social Security or SSI. You're right, he didn't. I listened to the entire speech. He did not say even a single word that indicated anything about Social Security, retirement SSDI, SSI, VA, any kinds of benefits like that. Alright, let's talk about Joe Manchin now and how he has flipped on the next bill. By the way, I'm not calling it a stimulus package. Notice, I call it a bill. Now, let's talk about what Joe Manchin is doing. So today, Joe Manchin talked about no proposal on the table. He even said that too. He was talking to some people. He even made it very clear that there is not a proposal on the table right now for the bill that he is introducing or that he is catching up at this time. But rather, it is just a conversation, it is a discussion. So remember, Joe Manchin is one of the few small handful of senators right now potentially holding up any kind of package, like a Build Back Better agenda or anything similar to it. Maybe individual pieces of legislation, standalone bills, anything like that. Joe Manchin is one of the main guys behind kind of the sticking points going forward right now. However, Joe Manchin, he came out earlier today and he mentioned that he is catching up a draft of a bill that he could actually get behind and actually support going forward. Here's what he has in it. As of right now, remember, anything is subject to change. I'm calling it a bill because that's what Joe Manchin is referring to it as. He said he wants a legislation to actually reform the tax code, So remember back in 2017, there was a Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that he wants to reform. Number 2, he also wants them to be able to lower prescription prices. This is something that's very important to him. Now this will be a very scaled down bill from what we've been seeing going forward. So we've been seeing these proposals coming out for $1.75 trillion, $2.2 trillion. Big numbers, right? Trillions and trillions of dollars. Realistically, what Joe Manchin is probably proposing here is probably maybe a couple of 100 billion. We did not get a price tag on this thing, but I'm just saying, based on what he's proposing right here, we're maybe talking a couple of 100 billion, maybe again. He also wants to lower inflation, so inflation is running hot right now and is anticipated to go even much higher. So based on everything that's going on around the country right now, as well as the world, this inflation situation is only going to continue to exacerbate and get even worse going forward. But I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm simply telling you what is honestly going on out there right now. And this is what the analysts and experts are saying. Unless we get a massive shift and something changing pretty quickly here, it's going to continue going on the same trajectory that we're currently seeing a move on. Anyway, this is kind of where we stand in hopes of a potential next bill. But again, we have no clue that Congress is going to start working on after the State of the Union address. Maybe they're all jacked up right now. Maybe they're all excited. Maybe they're sitting at their computers right now, typing away on some new legislation. I highly doubt it, but who knows what? But this is what we have as of now. Joe Manchin is going to be sketching up this bill, but this is just a discussion. There's nothing official in writing as of now, but he is in support of provisions of the Build Back Better agenda. But again, it's going to be very much scaled down. We saw pass through the House about 4 months ago now. And remember, there's a lot of people, over 500 people in Congress, and Joe Manchin is one of them. Anyway, these are some updates I have for right now. I hope this offers a little bit more information on what is going on right now, and I'll continue to keep you posted with everything going on and all the latest updates. So make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again later.